Hi everyone, I'm Greg, bioinformator on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Moxfield. And today we're gonna crack my third Double Masters 2022 Draft Booster box. So my last break went pretty well, and I'm hoping to keep the streak alive. So let's see what kind of spiceables we can get. Uh-huh. And Double Masters 22 draft archetypes. We will snag our packs. Get the box out of the way. Okay. Let's get into it. Okay. Child resistant pack. Okay. So we have Lava Coil, 10th District Legionnaire, Arachnus Web, Jeskai Elder, Sensor Splicer, Unearth in Borderless format, Last Breath, Glow Spore Shaman, and we have a Terminate. So Terminate is our uncommon, so destroy target creature, it can't be regenerated. For black and a red, we have Is It Boilerworks? Bear's Companion, Teneb the Harvester is first rare. Ooh, Blood Forged Battle Axe and Borderless. So that's sweet. Equipped creature gets +2/+0, and whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of Bloodforged Battle Axe and equip it. Or, no, it's got an equip cost of 2. So proliferating blood forged battle axes. We have a Wingsteed Rider as a foil, and we have a Dragon Arch as a foil. And I think that the Dragon Arch is pretty cool because I mean it's 5 to get out, but you can do 2 tap. You put a multicolored creature from your hand onto the battlefield. So if you get a bunch of expensive multicolored creatures, that's that can be quite a discount. So we get our Cryptic Spire, and we get our Vampire, and a Saproling. Let's see. Spread these out just a little bit. Okay. Again, I don't know what that battle axe is going for. But having a borderless version is cool. Rift Bolt, Coiling Oracle, Annoyed Altasar, Deranged Assistant, Seeker of the Way. Liliana's Elite. Spark Mage's Gambit. Ground Assault. Unburial Rites. So into the uncommons. A lot less Troll. Devoted Druid. So get those combos going. So it's a mana dork, and but you put a -1/-1 counter and it untaps. So shenanigans. Splitterfright. So that's a jank rare. Elsha the Infinite is also a jank rare. So yeah, not much to talk about there. Kazmina's Transmutation as a foil. We have a treasure and a boar. Wow, this box is tougher to open than the earlier boxes. I don't know why. Okay. Cruin Striker. Fireblade Artist. Elvish Rejuvenator. Thought Scour in Borderless. That's nice. Anointer of Valor. Seeker's Squire. Material Glory. Wingsteed Rider. Wall of Omens. It's an uncommon. River Hoopoe. Goblin Banneret. Prized Amalgam as a jankish rare. Gave Guru of Spores. Unless it's Gav. I don't know how it's pronounced. It's a mythic at least. Gav Guru of Spores enters the battlefield with 5 +1/+1 counters on it. Remove a +1/+1 counter from a creature you control. Create a 1/1 green Saproling creature token. And 1 sacrifice a creature, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. I haven't heard of that one, so I'm guessing it's not one of the big ones. Experiment 1, Monastery's Swift Spear. So those are foils. We have ourselves an Angel and a Drake. There we go. Ambuscade. Stormfleet Pyromancer. Burning Tree Emissary in Borderless. Very sweet. Gnarlback Rhino. Aven Initiate. Knightly Valor. Supernatural Stamina. Bloodwater Entity. Sidraxis Spectre is our first uncommon. Jeskai Charm. Scale Blessing. Okay, what's our first rare? Ren and 6. So that's a good one, I know, without looking it up. And I'm assuming this is just the standard version of it, as far as I can tell. But that's going to be a good pull. And there's the Mimeoplasm, which I think ends up not particularly being worth a lot, but it's still a cool card. Crew and Stalker as a foil, and Stagger Shock as a foil. We get ourselves a knight and a zombie token. Deadly Recluse. Pirate's Pillage. Liev Sky Knight. Makeshift Mauler. Militia Bugler. Severed Strands. Chronicler of Heroes. Bloodflow Connoisseur. Misfire Adept, the first uncommon. A Tower Gargoyle. So that's kind of a... It's a flying, but that's about it. Dragon Arch, so the regular version. Thrumming Stone. I found out from my last box that that's at least worth a reasonable amount. Mikaeus, the Lunarch, I think is not worth too much, but it's a good card. At least for the deck I'm currently building, where I'm dealing with tokens that I'm trying to make more formidable opponents. So Mikaeus the Lunarch enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. You can tap and put a +1/+1 counter on Mikaeus. But you can tap and remove a +1/+1 counter from Mikaeus, and then put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control. So if you get some counter doubler shenanigans going on to kind of buff Mikaeus up so that you can afford to remove some things, then things can get pretty crazy. Even Aven Initiate as a foil. Orzhov Pontiff as a foil. So we have our Cryptic Spires, Soldier, and Fairy Rogue. And I've totally been glossing over the Cryptic Spires. There's one in every pack, and so it's you know, essentially it's a choose your own tapped dual land kind of deal. So as you create your deck, circle two of the colors below. Cryptic Spires enters the battlefield tapped. Tap, add 1 mana of either of the circled colors. So they needed something like that in there to support drafting. Might of Old Krosa. Hero of the Games. Kasali Pride Mage. Vampire Sovereign. Capture Sphere. Doomed Traveler. Skeleton Archer. Traveler's Amulet. Azorius Chancery. So, I mean, it's only a bounce land, so they don't compare to the Battle Bond style lands that were in the last set. So they're not worth a lot, but that's a nice looking borderless. Lightning Bolt. So plenty of decks still have a need for those. Travel Preparations. Rune of the Hidden Realm. So a Rhino Soldier with blinking shenanigans. Aurelia the War Leader. So that's a decent one. Flying Vigilance and Haste. Whenever Aurelia the War Leader attacks for the first time each turn, untap all creatures you control. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. So, Doomed Traveler as a foil, and Coiling Oracle as a foil. Expires, Angel, and a Drake. Almost done with the first stack. Okay. Gnarlback Rhino. Living Lightning. 10th District Legionnaire. Strands of Undeath. Mana Leak. Battlefield Promotion. Brindle Shoat. Settle Beyond Reality. Flicker Wisp. Some more Blinky shenanigans. Extract from Darkness. Each player mills 2 cards, then you put a creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Sounds like a decent uncommon. Surreal Memoir. Return an instant card at random from your graveyard to your hand, and it has Rebound. So if you cast this spell from your hand, exile it as it resolves at the beginning of your next upkeep. You may cast this card from exile without paying its mana cost. So if you have some valuable instants that you want to recur, Nixilis Unshackled. So we got this in the last box. Backdraft Hellkite. So dragon, flying. Whenever Backdraft Hellkite attacks, each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until the end of turn. The flashback cost is equal to its mana cost. So that could be interesting. Ground Assault. Mana Leak in the foil. Expires. Eldrazi Scion. And a bear token. Okay. Final pack from the first stack. Okay. One of these seems is going to give. So we have Dark Dwelling Oracle, Tuskguard Captain, Hissing Iguanar. That's pretty. Coiling Oracle in the borderless. So that's neat looking. Eye Blight's Ending. Aether Snipe. God's Willing. Agony Warp. Lightning Helix. Glory Scale Viashino. Yeah. And I know nothing of MTG lore, so I could easily be mispronouncing a bunch of stuff. So you could all laugh at me. Sign of Darkness. Garvek the Merciless. So that's a janky rare. Aether Vial, though. The Aether Vial, I know, is a good card. I actually have some other earlier versions of this. Yeah, at the beginning of your upkeep, You may put a charge counter on Aether Vial. You may put a creature card with mana value equal to the number of charge counters on Aether Vial from your hand onto the battlefield. So with some care in your deck building, you can take advantage of that so that you know which mana values you have to hit where it's actually going to be useful. Rancor and foil. So this goes in most of my green decks. It's recurable trample, so a blingy foil version of it is cool. So we have Riskar Pima Renegade in foil. Unfortunately, it's probably not worth much. We have a Phyrexian Golem and an Elemental token. Okay. Might of Old Krosa. Titan Strength. Cartel Aristocrat. Arachnus Web. Seeker of the Way. Severed Strands. Haven Initiate. Ground Assault. Eternal Witness in the borderless version. So that's, and there's another Glory Scale. Centaur Battle Master. Okay, Merc Fiend Liege. I don't think any of the lieges were worth terribly much. Grand Arbiter Augustin IV is a nice taxing card if you're into that strategy. And it's worth a little bit, but not too much. We got an Eel Umbra foil. And we have the foil version of Grand Arbiter, so it's worth a little bit more. So in the same pack, no less. Cryptic Spires, a Treasure, and a Boar. Yeah, I think getting different versions of the same card in the same pack is it happens enough that it's above random chance. I think something's going on where the collation is making that happen at some frequency. Elvish Rejuvenator, Fiery Fall, Liev Sky Knight, Deranged Assistant, Battlefield Promotion, Skeleton Archer, Jeskai Elder, Spark Mage's Gambit. So we have the Selesnya Sanctuary into the uncommon. Mentor of the Meek. A Bant Charm. There's a Restoration Angel, which is a jank rare. But Ulamog, the Infinite Gyre. This is like my third one, I think. That's a good card. Hyena Umbra. Agony Warp. A Knight. And a Zombie. Yeah, I forget how much Ulamog's going for, but I think it's in at least in the high 20s, if not higher. Tuskguard Captain, Storm Fleet Pyromancer. Ingenious Scob. Spell Pierce in Borderless. Doomed Traveler. Liliana's Elite. Bloodflow Connoisseur. Glowspore Shaman. Go for the Throat. League Guild Mage. Firemind Vessel. Okay. Mind Rack Liege. It's only like a couple of bucks. Lesha, Who Smiles at Death, which is also a cheap rare. Hero Games and Brindleshote. Okay. So that was an underwhelming pack. Okay. Webweaver Changeling. Here are the games. Augur Spree. Mana Leak. God's Willing. Supernatural Stamina. Kasmina's Transmutation. Chronicler of Heroes. Bloodbraid Elf. Oh. Gone into the uncommons. Bounty of Luxa. Inquisition of Kozilek. Borderless. Mizzix of the Ismagnus. So a Goblin Wizard. It's a mythic. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell with mana value greater than the number of experience counters you have, you get an experience counter. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each experience counter you have. So, I don't know what that one is worth. I haven't encountered or looked that one up yet. Damnation, so that's a good one. 2 and 2 black. Destroy all creatures that can't be regenerated. So that's a classic. Shadowborn Apostle in foil, even. I mean, the regular ones are probably worth a couple of bucks. I don't know if the foil bumps it up any. But since you can have many in the same deck, the supply-demand thing kind of does its work. Inquisition of Kozilek in the foil version, so it's a totally different art. Cryptic Eldrazi and Bear. Okay. Call to the feast. Thrive. Living Lightning. Kasali Pride Mage. Advanced Stitchwing. Hyena Umbra. Balustrade Spy. Agony Warp. Abzan Falconer. Uncommons. Biogenic Upgrade. Civic Saber. Guided Passage. That's a jank rare. And a Balefire Liege. I think none of the Balefire Liege, any of the lieges ended up being worth too much, at least in my past experience. God's Willing as a foil. Jeskai Elder. It's a foil. Treasure and War. Okay. Fireblade Artist. Rampant Growth. Dark Dweller Oracle. Makeshift Mauler. Enoch Bondkin. Shadowborn Apostle. Dreg Mauler. Traveler's Amulet. Skin Render. Rakdos Carnarium. Crackling Doom. Planar Bridge. So that's a minor one. Hardened Scales. It's a good card. I forget what it's worth. It's probably not exorbitant. Fiery Fall. And Go for the Throat as foils. Cryptic. We have a Knight and a Zombie. Yay. Almost done with the second stack. Augur Spree. Experiment 1. Pirates Pillage. Eel Umbra. Momentary Blink. Vampire Sovereign. Disfigure. Brindle Shoat. Okay. Very pretty Gruul Turf in the Borderless. Oh, lots of carnage going on. Looks like a Scab Clan Giant. Stagger Shock. It's uncommon. Okay, what kind of rare are we getting here? Joda. So that ended up not being worth much. Anguished Unmaking. So I think that's worth a little bit, but nothing too crazy. Carrier Thrall. League Guildmage. And a Monk token, which is, I think, the first one I've seen out of the, so this is the third box. Monk Spider token. Yeah, so I don't know how they distribute the various token types and whether they're truly rare or there's just pockets of regions that are getting more of one than another. Okay, we're in the home stretch. Perforos's Emissary. Deep Analysis. Grapple with the Past. Monastery Swiftspear. Forbidden Alchemy. Relief Captain. Carrier Thrall. Winged Coatl. Prophetic Bolt. Abzan Charm. Breakthrough. Greater Gargadon, so that's a janky rare. But a Teferi's Protection. Teferi's Protection can come in handy. So until your next turn, your life total can't change, and you gain protection from everything. All permanents you control phase out. While they're phased out, they're treated as though they don't exist. They phase in before you untap during your next untap step. Exile Teferi's Protection. So it's only 2 and a white to cast that. Militia Bugler is a foil. And Cartel Aristocrat as a foil. Treasure and a bear. Okay. Deep Analysis. Webweaver Changeling. Fiery Fall. Carrier Thrall. Deranged Assistant. Momentary Blink. Now, there's a lot of Blink reprints in here. Blink adjacent stuff in here. So I think that's a viable strategy that's being pushed here. Bloodflow Connoisseur. Glowspore Shaman. Lightning Helix. Commons. Heroic Reinforcements. Devoted Druid. For your, mana infinite loops. Skullbriar, the Walking Grave. Atarka's Command. Another, what's up? Choose 2. Your opponents can't gain life this turn. Atarka's Command deals 3 damage to each opponent. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield, and creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain reach until the end of turn. Yeah, I don't know if any of the commands, the dragons themselves are maybe valuable, but I don't know about the command cards. I think they may still fall in a kind of janky territory. Vampire Sovereign, foil, Soldier, and an egg. Monastery Swiftspear in Borderless. Cartel Aristocrat. Grapple with the Past. Dark Dwelling Oracle. Seeker's Squire. Advanced Stitchwing. Battlefield Promotion. Ground Assault. Gravebleed Marauder. Simic Growth Chamber in Borderless. It's nice. Aether Mage's Touch. So it's an instant. Reveal the top 4 cards of your library. You may put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield. It gains at the beginning of your end step. Return this creature to its owner's hand. Then put the rest of the cards revealed this way to the bottom of your library in any order. So you get something out for free, get it back. So hopefully it's something with an enter the battlefield trigger on it. Okay, we got a Deathbringer Liege, which isn't a big deal. Oh, well, that's a big deal. A Dockside Extortionist in the Borderless. So that I haven't hit one yet, so I haven't looked up the price. But I am happy with that. Disfigure and Deadly Recluse. Okay, they're afterthoughts. Eldrazi and Bear. But I have a feeling that's a spicy pull. Titan Strength. Genius Scab. Deadly Recluse. Skeleton Archer. Spell Pierce. Knightly Valor. Chronicler of Heroes. Kasmina's Transmutation. Mull Drifter. Conclave Mentor. Oh, and the Mull Drifter belongs down there. Okay. Dragon Arch. So I've hit that several times, but I think I may want to try that out in a deck. Rishkar, that's a jank. Fire Song and Sunspeaker. Red instant and sorcery spells you control have lifelink. Whenever a white instant or sorcery spell causes you to gain life, Fire Song and Sunspeaker deal 3 damage to target creature or player. It's a rare, 4 a red and white. Yeah, so I don't know if that's worth anything or not. We'll find out in a bit. Ambuscade in foil. Conclave Mentor in foil. Cryptic, we have a knight, and a zombie. Hey. Living Lightning. 10th District Legionnaire. Huskard Captain. Shadowborn Apostle. Again. Aether Snipe. Enoch Bondkin. Wingsteed Rider. Traveler's Amulet. Demir Aqueduct. Sultai Soothsayer. Summer Bloom. So you may play up to 3 additional lands this turn. So if you're really pushing the land account in your deck for some landfall or something, that could be good. I mean, I think for the green decks I play, that's excessive. I mean, it probably wouldn't get as much use because it's not that I always have too many lands in a hand at a time. I more go for the mana doublers and tricks, things like that. Jeskai Ascendancy is a rare. Green Sun Zenith. So that's a decent rare. Not excessive, but it's a good card. Last Breath. Titan Strength. Cryptic Spires. Vampire. And Saprolan. Hey. Stormfleet Pyromancer. Augur Spree. Rampant Growth. Eye Blight's Ending. Thought Scour. Hyena Umbra. Bloodwater Entity. Brindle Shoat. Path to Exile. Young Pyromancer in the Borderless. It's an uncommon. Cold Steel Heart. Tariel, Reckoner of Souls. It's the first rare. And a Vidalcan Orrery. That's about a $15 card-ish. May cast spells as though they had flash. Um, Capture Sphere. Path to Exile in foil. Okay, a second monk token. 3. Pirates Pillage. Call to the Feast. Annoyed Altasar. Relief Captain. Balustrade Spy. Capture Sphere. Anointer of Valor. Last Breath. Golgari Rot Farm in Borderless. Blazing Hellhound. Nephalia Smuggler. Bring to Light. I think that's a jank rare. Ooh. But Emiel the Blessed. And Borderless. That's a pretty card. I've got actually the Borderless foil version from one of the collector boxes. But I assume at that Borderless level it's still worth a reasonable amount. Perforos's Emissary as a foil. And Chronicler of Heroes as a foil. Cryptic Spires. We have a Soldier and a Fairy Rogue as the tokens. Okay, we're down to our final 2 packs here. Do we have any banger slots in here left? We shall see. Cruin Striker. Deep Analysis. Experiment 1. Sensor Splicer. Unearth. Actually got several of the borderless version of that. Makeshift Mauler. Martial Glory. Drag Mangler. Mistwedo Witch. So that's another blinky thing. Body Double. There's regular Rancor. Tolerant. Oh well. So we burned a rare slot there. A Necrotic Ooze. Oh, this is like, I don't know what it's worth, but it's a nasty card. So as long as Necrotic Ooze is on the battlefield, it has all activated abilities of creatures in all graveyards. So that can get crazy. Here's Spell Pierce in Borderless foil. I mean, it's only a common, so it's not worth anything, but it's nice. Abzan Charm, an uncommon foil. We do have a Phyrexian Golem Elemental token. Okay, here's the final pack. Drum roll, please. Do we go out with a bang or a whimper? Perforos's Emissary, Fireblade Artist, Thrive, Militia Bugler, Strands of Undeath, Forbidden Alchemy. Is it Charm? Settle Beyond Reality. We have an Orzhov Basilica. Sprouting Thrynax. Surreal Memoir. Zur the Enchanter, so that's a cheap rare. Child of Alara, so that's not a bad rare. Martial Glory, so that's still a common. and a skeleton archer. So it's a semi-whimper there on the end step. A vampire and a sapperling. Okay, but we did get some good cards, and now is the time on the stream where I do price checks. And let's see how this goes. Okay. So Child of Alara is 651. So it's part of the EV for the box. Control 5. Azure. Azure the Enchanter is only $1.37. Kind of go off here. Off to the side. Necrotic Ooze, I'm surprised, is only $2. But yeah, if you're, and I know Talron's crap. Control fine. Emiel. So Emiel the Blessed in Borderless is 1040. So that's good. Bring Delight's only 69 cents. I know Vidalkin was like about 15. It's like 1440 something. Control find. Tariel. Okay, Tariel's only $1. Green Sun Zenith. So this is the 1373. Sky Ascendancy is only 35 cents. Oh. Yeah, typing with the keyboard on my lap is not very stable. Fire Song. Okay, Fire Song and Sun Speaker is only 97 cents. Okay. Okay, Rishkar in regular is 50 cents. Okay. Dockside Extortionist. And Borderless is 64.76. So it's kind of in a class by itself. Deathbringer. Deathbringer Liege is $1. 99 cents. Find. Tarka's command is 71 cents. Yeah, I figured the commands weren't worth that much. Skullbriar is only $1. But Teferi's Protection is $23.99. I know Greater Gargadon doesn't make the cut. Um, Anguished Unmaking is 410. Thought it was a little better than that. I think Joda didn't make the cut last time I checked. Hardened Scales. Okay. Regular version is 427, so just a little shy. Planar Bridge also doesn't make the cut. Balefire Liege is only $1. Guided Passage, I know, wasn't worth much. But Damnation is 17.85. Mizik of the Is Magnus is $1.82. I know Alesha wasn't one. Mindrak Liege wasn't one. Control 5. Mind. But Ulamog, the Infinite Gyre. Okay, so that one is 41. So that's kind of on a level. So it's like $100 of value just in those two. Restoration Angel was cheap. So the Grand Arbiter, the foil is 585, and the regular 625. Well, whatever. They both count over here. It's kind of like the lower level. Merc Fiend Liege doesn't make the cut. Rishkar, even in foil, isn't going to make the cut. What? Aether Vial is 1485. Karavek doesn't make the cut. Control fine. Back. Back. Draft. Hellkite. And it's only 59 cents. Nyx. Unshackled is only $1.49. But I still think it's a great card. Aurelia is a $12 card. Rune of the Hidden Realm is a cheapo. Chaos is only $1. Thrumming Stone, 1632. Mimeoplasm's only $1. Renin 6, however, is 63.98. Wow. Okay. Gave or Gav is only $1.44. Prize Amalgam is 50 cents. No, the Elsha didn't make the cut. Splinter Fright doesn't make the cut. Bloodforged Battle Axe Borderless is $8.81. Zeneb the Harvester is a cheapo. Okay. So I actually think I did fairly well here. So the big winners are Renin 6, Ulamog, and Dockside Extortionist, Borderless. So those are excellent pulls, as well as Teferi's Protection and Damnation are the runners-up. We have like the $10 to $15 range cards in here of the Bloodforged Battle Axe, Borderless, the Thrumming Stone, Aurelia, Aether Vial, Green Sun Zenith, Vidalcan Orrery, and a beautiful Emil the Blessed Borderless card. And we've got the Grand Arbiters and Child of Alara at the lower end. And then we've got our pile of jank. Though there's a lot of value in the hits. So I think I did pretty darn good here, considering, anyhow. I mean, some people are having, like, totally amazing things where they're getting, like, doubles of expensive cards, but this is pretty hot, and so I did get an extra dockside here, and it's the borderless version, so that's nice. And, I mean, I've got an excess of Woolmogs for my openings. This is the first Renin 6. I've got the Renin 7s from the, what was that, the, from the werewolf Innistrad set. I think that's the one that was in. Yeah. So anyhow, there were some great hits here for a draft box. I hope you enjoyed watching the crackening of the box. And I have one more of these draft boxes on the way that hasn't arrived yet. But I do have 2 collector boxes that arrived today. So they're next on the agenda. So I hope to see you for the next video. Until then, well, it's the weekend now when I'm recording this. So I hope you're having a nice weekend. And I'll see you next time.